Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our Exploring the Cloud 101 webinar this morning. This is Annette Manius with Oasis Solutions, and I will be taking you through a little bit of PowerPoint on what we're going to look at today. And then I have Nancy Sutton with us as well, a senior consultant for Oasis, that will walk us through a demonstration of NetSuite. First thing we want to talk about is a little bit about Oasis. And then we'll look at hosting as an option, and then NetSuite, our partner in the cloud. Oasis has been in business for 27 years. We were founded in 1991, and we're headquartered in Louisville, Kentucky, with offices in Lexington and Nashville, Tennessee. We have over 700 clients in 35 states. And at Oasis, we focus on our people and our processes because we believe that who you buy from is more important than what you buy. On staff, we have CPAs, MBAs, former CFOs, controllers make up our team. And we feel that's important because we've all been in your shoes. And we understand not only the software, but also where you are in your career and with the business and how we can help you with those processes. So combined, our project managers have 260 plus years of experience that we can draw on from each other. And again, it's not what we bring to the table, it's who. The next couple of slides, you're going to see members of our staff. Some of them you all have talked through over the years and maybe not ever met. So this is a good time to put a name to a face and be able to see who you've been talking with over the years. And again, today I have Nancy Sutton with me from our team. So our presenters today are going to be myself, and I am the founder and president of Oasis. And through the years, I have worked probably every position that we've had in the company. So I started out as an implementation consultant and have gone now to management of the day-to-day business. Nancy Sutton is a senior consultant with Oasis. She's worked with ERP most of her career. She has implemented and supported Sage 100, Sage 500, Sage X3, and she is now a NetSuite consultant with Oasis. She brings a lot of years of experience and knowledge with her as well. So you'll enjoy hearing from Nancy a little bit later. One of the things that we looked at when we said, we want to help our customers understand more about the cloud. And one of the things is, why do companies move to the cloud? And one of the first things that we hear most from people is that their servers are becoming older and maybe they need to replace them. What should they do? Should they buy a new server? Should they go to the cloud? What's the pros and cons of that? So that's one of the biggest things. Reliable backups is another thing that we've heard a lot of people talk about. In the past couple of years, we've had several customers, unfortunately, think they were getting backups and they were not, and had some virus situations and tried to restore and couldn't. So I think that's a big part of why I moved to the cloud, is because you have that done for you automatically. And also the ease of access for everyone, especially with companies that have multiple locations. The cloud is a really good option for that. And then when you look at the cost, it really is a less expensive solution. You're reducing IT cost, reducing maintenance cost on servers and backups and antivirus and that type of thing at a server level. So not to say that it's going to replace IT. It won't, because you still obviously have your desktop, your laptop, whatever it is that you need them for, but it replaces that server need there. So we looked at several cloud options, and two of them are really the most popular. The first one is software hosting. So this is a perfect solution when you want to keep your software. So everyone on this call has a Sage product, Sage 100. We have some Sage HRMS on the call as well. So you could keep your software and move it to a hosting partner. So that is one option. So when people talk about cloud, I always ask them, what is it that you mean with cloud? And this is an option. So doing that, you reduce your IT spend because you don't have to have a server. You still have that access with the enhanced security. So a hosting partner really has better security than your in-house server would have. A lot of things that go along with that and certifications they have to have that you would personally not have on your server. So and then there's also the automated backup of data. So they back up the data and have rotations and that situation. So that's a lot more automated, and you don't have to worry about it. And then you can also access the data via mobile. So on your phone, on your iPad, whatever it is, you can access that data with a hosting partner. Then another solution is SaaS. I'm sure everyone's heard that term, software as a service. This solution assumes you don't own the software and you're going to lease it from the provider. So it's similar to Netflix and that type of cloud-based, web-based products that you have. And it reduces IT spend, access to your data with enhanced security, automated backup of your data, and then you have access to the data via your mobile, iPad, whatever it is, any 365 days to 24/7 access to that data. I'd like to discuss first hosting, and then we will talk about the SaaS model. We have decided to partner with a company called Trapp Hosting. So it's Trapp Technologies. And they have a dedicated servers in private environments, a lot of redundancy. You have setup, data transfer, onboarding specialists. They have nightly offsite backups, 7-day rolling. You have mobile access to your data, Windows, Mac OS compatible, unlimited 24/7, 365 US-based support. So that's one of the things that we looked for when we started looking for hosting partners is who was going to provide the best support for our customers. And Trapp was one of the ones that we looked at. Their uptime is 99.99%. And then the other piece about it is there's flat pricing with no contracts. So you're not locked into a year contract with them. The flat pricing is based on what you want hosted. So they host Sage products, some Microsoft products, some things. But then they can also host your Microsoft Word, Excel, your emails. So they have different hosting packages that you can use as well. So there's a lot of different hosting options, and I'm sure some of you all have probably looked at them or you know about them, but this is one that we looked at that we really like. And so why did we choose them? The biggest driver for us is they primarily work with business management software like Sage. So you could do some other hosting that is probably less expensive, but they are not focused on business management software. And why that was important to us is that they understand different aspects and nuances of that. So with Sage 100, for example, understand the printing and paperless office and some of the other things that need to be connected. We have some customers that have Sage CRM, and they are connected with Sage 100. So that for us was a big driver of that for our customers. So we have, I would say, maybe 25 of our Sage customers currently that are being hosted by Trapp and seem to be very happy with the service. again, 24/7, 365 support. So it's been really good. And there is a you have your software hosted on your server currently, and moving to Trapp, there is an implementation piece that goes there from that move. They have just been great through that whole process with our customers. So again, we wanted to make sure that we had a product or a company that we could work with that we felt was really reliable for our customers. So I'd like to take just a quick look at what that looks like, because everybody says, well, what does it look like when I do hosting? So excuse me for just a minute. I'm going to get out of my PowerPoint, and I'm going to show you all my desktop. So you'll notice here I have a server, an icon that just says Trapp server. Yours would say whatever your company is, and I'm going to connect. And I just key in my password, and it just connects me to the server right away. So it's a quick, easy process. You'll see your Sage 100 over here, Crystal Reports. So if you have anything else that they are hosting for you, you would see it on your desktop. So you can customize your desktop. So this is your desktops. Each person would have that. So it's very quick. It's very easy. It's a quick RDP session. You can also, I have that on my phone, so I have a icon on my phone that has that information as well, so I can get to that information from on my phone, my iPad, or wherever I am. So that's just a quick look. And again, we'd be glad to show you all a little bit more about that if anyone's interested. So that's the hosting option that you have. And then our next option is a cloud-based, 100% cloud ERP called NetSuite. Some of you all have probably heard of NetSuite, maybe even seen it. But it is the first cloud ERP, founded in 1998. So to me, when I think about that is, you think about what the internet looked like in 1998. So I can't imagine that this company, they were always cloud. They were never anything other than cloud. And they founded in 1998 and have grown since then. They were acquired by Oracle in 2016 for $9.3 billion. So what that really means, I think, to the product is that influx of money will allow the product to just continue to grow and have other features and things in it. So it's a very, very good thing that they were purchased by Oracle. And people always ask me, have we seen any difference in the product or in the company, really? And we have not. They are extremely partner focused, which it's been really good for us. So very good company, very stable, been around, like I said, for a very long time. And you'll notice on the left-hand side of the screen, companies that use NetSuite. So at first I hesitated a little bit to show you all this because they're very large companies. And no one on this call is at that level. But then I thought, well, it'd be great for you all to see that it really is a strong, strong product. And these companies who are national, international, world-based companies are using the product. So we have customers that are more mid-market, which is where most of our customers are, that use the product as well. So it can scale and or not, depending on where your company is. So just wanted to show you guys that so you can see the breadth of the product. A couple different things about cloud-based product. And when I think about cloud, I think about two things. Like we just talked about, hosting is a cloud-based because it's not on your server. And then there's also, what I think about is the true cloud, where it is browser-based. One of the things about browser-based software, such as NetSuite, is there are 2 automatic updates per year. And it is pushed out to the customers, and it integrates seamlessly into the product that's there. So there's not an upgrade process for that. It goes into it. It's 24/7 device browser agnostic, very scalable and flexible, high availability, and then a very good performance, optimized performance as well. So there's a lot of good things there with that type of software. So the interesting thing about it, because one of the questions I always get is, well, what if their internet goes down? They have a 99.99% uptime. So when you are a customer of NetSuite, you can log into the portal and you can see your statistics about your uptime as well as these kind of statistics as well. So it has a very good uptime as well. And then the other question I get too is, what if my internet goes down? Well, you can access it anywhere. So let's say your internet goes down at your office and it's going to be out for an hour. Well, you could just go down to Starbucks or to the library, wherever you want to go, and you're there and you're plugged in, or on your phone, or even at home. So that's an option as well. So that's a nice piece of that. So why did Oasis choose NetSuite? We started looking at cloud products about 6 years ago, and there were 3 that were really on the market that we thought fit into our customer profile, and NetSuite was one of them. What we really liked about NetSuite is that we felt like it had been around for a while. It was proven, it was tested, tried and true, and just like Sage. And we liked that it was one software approach. So we're going to talk about that in a minute also, so you understand what that means. But they really were the premier software. So I wanted to also mention, I'm sure everyone on the call knows that Sage purchased another cloud product called Intact. We looked at Intact as well and determined that while it was a good software, it hadn't been around long enough for us to feel comfortable with it. And we felt like it didn't have the features that our Sage customers were accustomed to. So we looked at it and said, okay, if we had a Sage customer that went from Sage 100 and they wanted to go cloud for whatever reason, what does that really look like? Do they get the same features? And we determined that NetSuite really was the product that would give our Sage customers what they're used to getting every day. So that's the reason we chose NetSuite, and it's been a really, really good choice, a really good partnership, and we've had a couple of our customers, Sage 100 customers, that have gone to NetSuite, and it's been a really good product for them. So I want to tell you a little bit about NetSuite before we get into Nancy's demo. What this slide is telling us is that NetSuite is a ERP application, and it has accounting at the core, and with all the other products around it built into it. So, for example, marketing and sales force automation are built into the product. Project management, inventory, sales order, purchase order, all the ancillary things are built into the product. And NetSuite really is a good product for e-commerce, for manufacturers, distributors, service, nonprofits. We actually have quite a few nonprofits using the software. So it's a really good product for a span of businesses. And then also, NetSuite is a real-time, fully integrated application. So you have live access to everything in it real time. So for example, in Sage 100, for example, you post batches. In NetSuite, it's just when you do a transaction, it's there. And it's there right away, and it's visible to anyone that has access to that. So it's also role-based, much like Sage is. One of the things that NetSuite has that I really like and some of our customers really like is they have special limited roles referred to as centers. So there are center roles available for customers, employees, vendors, and partners like external sales reps. So, for example, a customer center, they could actually have access to their account, limited access to their account, and be able to see information about their account that's in within your system. Of course, like I said, you give them limited access, but it's a nice feature that's built into the system. One of the other features that NetSuite has that I really like also is there's workflows built into the system. So, for example, I'll give you an example of a workflow. Let's say a customer places an order with a sales rep over the phone. The sales rep enters the order, and the status of the order can be defaulted to pending approval. So the workflow kicks in at that point, and it sends a notification to the sales manager and says there's a new order for pending your approval, and the sales manager can approve that order. So those reminders can be via email or on their screen on their dashboard. So there's different ways. So that's just one example of what a workflow does. There's a lot of ways that you can use workflows in the system. So then once the sales manager approves the order, the warehouse staff automatically receives notification of an order pending, and they can go in and fulfill that order as well. So workflows can have multiple layers to it to multiple people in the company. And then lastly, the reporting capabilities of NetSuite allow you to report on any aspect of the system. So the reports are fully customizable. They can be in detail or in summary. One of the things that I like about the reporting in NetSuite is that when I'm looking at a report on the screen, I can drill down into the detail from within that report. So you can see that information. And then there's a lot of dashboards and alerts and things that you can create as well, which Nancy will show you here in a moment. So I'm going to turn the presentation over to Nancy, and she is going to do a demonstration of NetSuite, and it will be a relatively high-level demonstration. So if you want to see more detail, we'd be glad to show you that. If you want to see more about hosting, glad to show you that. And remember, we encourage you guys to ask questions, and if you'll put it into the chat, we will get to those questions at the end of the session. So I'm going to turn it over to Nancy Sutton now.
Well, good morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me fine. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I'm going to just double check to make sure what you guys are seeing because I can't tell. Apologize. Are you guys seeing my NetSuite screen? Can I get a confirmation from someone?
Yes.
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 Great. Okay. Just wanted to make sure you were seeing my screen. Thank you. So good morning. For the software demonstration, I plan on stepping through NetSuite's PowerPoints, so to speak, that were just highlighted in the slide deck, no pun intended. First off, I'm going to briefly address security and audit trails. I'm going to try to highlight the efficiency of the role structure by exploring a couple of the role-specific dashboards, as well as diving into a few of the functional dashboards that are available within each role. We're going to try and make sure you get a sense of the single source, real-time, fully integrated application by showing you a new inbound lead from a website, converting that lead to a sale, and actually even sending off a personal email from the CEO welcoming that new customer on board. So trying to do kind of a day in the life as we step through the role process. Through the process, the workflow of NetSuite will guide us through the entire process, and hopefully you're going to get a chance to see how the intuitive interface will help validate how quick user adoption is. Finally, we're going to explore the flexibility of reports and the ease of distribution throughout the organization and the network. So I'm currently I'm right at as you can see, I'm right on the page for NetSuite, and that's about as easy as it is to log in. You can log in from your laptop, tablet, or phone. So I'll just click Login. Then it is going to prompt me for my email address. So I'll click that in, type in my password, and log in. NetSuite uses strong encryption and robust password policies. There's also supplemental security that is available, such as application-only access and ability to restrict access by an IP address. So you can literally limit which users can access the software and from what IP addresses. Single sign-on is available, as well as token-based security. Once you log in, you're logged into your default role. So I'm currently logged in, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, as the administrator. My customizable dashboard contains portlets, which are customizable, as I said. There is a shortcuts that are typically used by a system administrator, including user management, customization, and utilities. You'll also notice my reminders portlet on the left, which is customized by me to the specific alerts that I want NetSuite to bring to my attention. For instance, possible duplicate records that may require review, or system alerts that are coming from NetSuite. I've also set on my dashboard portlets for quick access to some of the audit logs. So for instance, the NetSuite login audit, so I can quickly drill into success or failure, see people how they're logging in, as well as a system notes audit. I'm going to click at the top on the administrators and control and drill into a customized center. We can take a brief look. I know for myself, moving from a batch-based system, such as, from a batch-based system into a live system, that sense of security was important, and the audit trail of what was available. There are extensive audit trails that are available within NetSuite. The Safe Search, there's system notes audit log, a scripting log, we talk about a deleted record audit log. That's only for those users that have access to delete a record. And it's not deleting a record without any trail to it. And that would typically be a record that is being deleted that had no activity along with it. System notes, etc. And these can be set up as graphical, like these workflow, with a web browser stats, and who's logging in and how they're logging in. So this just shows just a wide type of audit trails that are available. There's a lot of differences between roles, and we kind of focused a lot on that during this demo. I'm going to switch over here on the right to a sales role. And we'll look at Mike Daniels. Looks like he might be a U of L fan. Users can set their color scheme under their set preferences. This comes in pretty handy when you hold multiple roles on your system. Frequently, our users might be both a controller and an administrator on the system. So by switching roles, they can quickly see by color what role they're in. And it also helps you if you're trying to switch between a production and a sandbox environment. In the Sage terminology, that would be typically you'll have a copy of your company data, and that's what that sandbox would be similar to. So you could do testing. There are several portlets that have been placed on my sales rep dashboard. You'll notice my reminders are different than what the administrator's reminders are. And these reminders are much more in tune with my responsibilities as a sales rep, or Mike's responsibilities. He can use any of these reminders to drill in directly to the activities he needs to complete. So again, it's a full one system. So both the CRM is in the system, as well as your customers and your transactions, your sales orders, and your inventory. So here I can see I have 4 calls I need to complete. If I click into that, I will see the actual calls. From this list, I can quickly drill over to the company if I want, or I can just drill directly into the activity that I need to complete and record my activity. I'll go ahead and click back. There are several other portlets on my dashboard that I wanted to bring attention to. I have the key performance indicators. This has been designed for me as a sales rep to highlight where I'm at with my new leads, new opportunities, and new open quotes. Also within here, I can click into the links on any of the details. So I have new opportunities this month. I can click on that and it will show me that list of opportunities, which is helpful. And I'll go back. I even can click on the graphics. So there's a graph available for me as well. And I can quickly change my x-axis to be able to see a daily view instead. And if I wanted to see what these numbers actually are, I can hover. I'm able to export the information to be able to include in an email to my boss, as well as export out to a CSV file. And I'll slide this down and I'll close it out. Dashboards are fully customizable. I can adjust the layout. I can move portlets around, so moving them up and down to be able to see what's important to me. And I also can add or remove portlets from my dashboard. So let's go ahead and add a portlet. I'm going to go ahead and click on personalize, and the types of available portlets display on screen. I have standard content, report snapshots that I can add, trend graphs, as well as customized apps. And I can click quickly on currently used to see what's currently on my dashboard. So we're going to go back to standard content, and I'm going to add the calendar. It's as easy as clicking the button and it's on my screen. I'll go ahead and close out the personalization. From here, I can see what's going on and what I have to complete for today. And if I want to make different adjustments, I can go ahead and personalize even that on my screen. If you look at the top of the screen, we have a menu structure. The menu that you can use, we have classic style menus, something very similar to what you would see in Sage, but we also have what we refer to as centers or custom center menus. These menus have been adjusted for the specific role that I'm logged into, and each center can have its own dashboard. So here's, for example, is the dashboard of opportunities. As within one of the things I wanted to make certain that I show you as I look on the app. Here's the different dashes that are on my opportunities. All of these portlets are specific to opportunities. But one of the things that I found great about NetSuite is how easy users adapt to it and how quickly they adopt it. And one of the reasons I believe that is as one of my clients said, you can get there from here. It's extremely intuitive interface. So as a new sales rep, if I wanted to add an opportunity and I wasn't quite certain how, there's several ways to get there. I can go through the menu system and go to opportunities, transactions, and click on new. Or I could click on my quick add and go to the opportunity, and from here, it will create an opportunity fairly quickly. I could have opportunities on my shortcuts. If I wanted to add an opportunity for a specific customer, I can look quickly at my recent records. Bob's Burgers is one of my customers. It's actually a lead. And from here, the Create New button exists also, and from here, I can go quickly down to create an opportunity. If none of that, I can't remember any of that, the worst case, I can even type in opportunity. And from here, I can click on the page to create opportunities. So you can see that it's pretty intuitive to figure out and to move your way around the software. Let's go ahead and follow what I promised, and that is to follow that inbound lead. So within NetSuite, you're able to create quick customer forms that you could set up on your website. These forms require no HTML or coding. This is one that I created that allows us to capture lead information. So Sandy Squirrelson from Spacesuits has requested some information. Just goes ahead and click submit. And we'll return back to being Michael, and we're sitting at we'll return to our home dashboard. I'm going to minimize my calendar so I can see my reminders. And if I quickly refresh my reminders, I'll see that I now have 2 web leads. A moment ago, there was only 1. As I click in to these web leads, you'll see there's Sandy Squirrelson. It just came in. So I need to follow up with her. I'm going to go ahead and click on Edit to pull up the lead. Give Sandy a call. She says she's interested in purchasing some monitors from us. So I'm going to first confirm that this address is indeed where she wants us to ship it. She says it is. So I'll set that as the default address. I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. So that change is instantaneous. And if I wanted, I could actually log the call from there as well. I'm going to go back to Viewing. To log the phone call, I would click quickly on Communication, and I could log the phone call. And this was a follow-up on a web lead. And she's planning to call back later today to confirm the quote. Excellent. I'll go ahead and hit Save. That quote is on the system. So if I happen to be out to lunch, someone else is going to be able to see the message for the call. The next thing I want to make sure I do is go ahead and get that quote in the system for her. I'm on the lead. I'll click Quote. And from here, I'm going to simply select the location that we're going to ship from, put a quick title on my quote. This is our monitor quote. I could change the expected close date, but she did say she was going to call back today, so I'm not going to make a change there. And down at the bottom of my screen, I can start keying in the items. I know she's interested in a Dell monitor, so I could start typing Dell, and all of those monitors that begin with Dell will pop up for me. If I wanted to, I know that she wants more than one. I can even click on the Add Multiple, and because Dell was listed, it lists just our 2 Dell monitors. If I had nothing listed in that box, it would allow us to, let me cancel off here real quick, show you what that looks like. So here's the case where we can add any of our other items on. So I know she wants this Dell monitor. Great, because we have 20 in-house. She wants, and we have 11 of the curved monitors. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 2 of those and 2 of those. Click Done. And NetSuite will add both of those items at the base price. If she had special pricing, that would come in as well. At this point, I can save an email. I'm going to go ahead and do a save and print so that you could see our customizable form could then be adjusted and print and sent it off. Sent it is the new word. There we go. So the quote is in. So later on in the day, if she calls back and she's ready to go, I can slide over to my recent records. Here's the quote that she had put in. I can click Sales Order, and now it's going to convert that quote to an order. At this point in time, I can make any changes to it. I can record her purchase order, make changes to the line information, if how she wants to ship, and I can click Save. Again, I can save and print or save an email. So now my order is in, and it's currently pending fulfillment. So I, as a sales rep, can't ship it. However, the warehouse personnel can. So now we'll see how that workflow works. I'll slide over and I'll log in, or I'll, change my role to the warehouse operations. And if I look on their reminders, we can see it has 2 orders to fill. When I click on those orders to fill, I can see the spacesuits order as well as a prior order that's on the system. I can click both. I can select all and submit so that those are all getting fulfilled. Or in this case, I'm just going to do one at a time so we can see the fulfillment screen. In fulfillment, you're going to notice that the status is defaulting to picked. Inside NetSuite, we can configure your software to see stages of item fulfillment. So you can have a picked, a packed, as well as a ship stage. We're going to skip the picked and go directly to packed. On the shipping screen, I'm going to note that this is a residential address that we're shipping to, and I'm going to save and print the label. At this point, it's going to print off my UPS label for me because we're completely integrated. And if we look on the shipping information and carrier information, it's fully integrated. So we'll also have on our packages, we will have our tracking information will get written back to NetSuite. The next step in the process is my end of the day routine, because what happens at the end of the day? UPS shows up, the truck shows up, and we want to ship everything out the door. So I refreshed my screen. We can see that orders to ship changed from 5 to 6. I'll click into here. Typically, what would we do? We would say, yep, these are all of the orders that went out on the truck, and we could click submit. For purposes of our demonstration, I'm just going to click into the spacesuits order, and at this point, I can mark it as shipped, and it's now ready for invoicing. Our invoicing is done by our AR analyst role, so we'll quickly change over to our AR analyst. In her reminders, she can see that she has 11 sales orders to invoice. She can click on the invoices. Screens look very similar to what we saw in item fulfillment. So training and user adoption is quick, because once you learn how to do one piece, the next piece is pretty straightforward. And we'll click in. Here's our invoice, our order. I'm going to go ahead and click bill, that we're ready to bill this invoice. It's going to create the invoice. If there was something that accounting needed to add to it at the invoice stage, they could do so. They can click save, as well as save and print or save and email. And that save and print and save and email, you could set defaults to the customer. So, and you can follow the defaults as you go through the process, and that can all be automated. So we'll return to her page. And instantly, by the way, Sandy Spacesuits is on the scene. So we'll go to AR Aging. And if I do a find, can't remember the name of the company. I think it was Spacesuits. Could be wrong. There it is. That's Photo Space. But that gets what you see is, let's try Sandy's. Nope. So we'll stick with this. Here it is. There's Spacesuits. So if I slide down here, here's my customer Spacesuits, their current balance, and I can drill into that current balance. And from here, I can drill all the way into the invoice. I can back through, and if you can still, just similar to Sage, you can do your adjust your aging to go backwards in time. You also have aging options. So if for some reason on your aging report you wanted to see 4 bands instead of 3, you can quickly change that here, and you can even make them irregular bands. So the reporting is extremely flexible. You'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a number of buttons. We're going to take a look at some of these when we're looking at an income statement. But from here, you can see that you can export out this report to Excel, to a PDF, to a CSV file or a Word document. I can quickly print it. I can email it. And here's my favorite. I can set it up for a schedule. So I can have our AR aging summary be scheduled to be emailed out weekly, every Tuesday. And on my recipients, well, I could send the recipient out to be a sales rep. It could be a group of sales rep. I can also select any other folks that are on our system. So customers, employees, we can define groups on our systems, vendors, sales reps, etc. And once I hit schedule, this will be sent out, and it's going to begin being sent out every Tuesday. I'll go ahead and cancel out. So that's the scheduling. So scheduling is available for any of our reports. From here, let's go ahead. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Let's switch over to the CEO role. So most of you know Annette. And I know our CEO is pretty much hands-on, and it's nice to have that personal touch, and that's what our CEO wants to do. Looks on his dashboard, he sees on the bottom right that his new customer sale, that the new customers is expanding. We sold 8,000 this month just to new customers alone. Really interested in who those new customers are, and he'd like to reach out to them. Quick and easy, go to Sales, Sales and Marketing Overview, and under his key performance indicators, he'll see he has new customers. I'm going to refresh it just to make sure it's current. And now I can drill into who my 12 new customers are. And there's Sandy, there's the spacesuits. I can drill into the customer. And then from that customer, I can send off a quick email welcoming them on board. Slide down to communications, messages. I'll send an email. That's my recipient, Sandy. I'll select on message. I have a pre-defined template that's going to pull in Sandy's name, thank them for their business, and it's as easy as merge and send. If I look at the bottom of my screen, I can see that Sandy has already, in day one, has received 3 emails from us. When she did the initial, Larry had an automated email sent when the lead was first registered on the website. The second one came out from Phil because the order was fulfilled, so she was notified that it was sent. And then later on this morning, Mike, because that's how I was logged in, sent the email. I did these in the wrong order. My apologies. Larry was the CEO welcoming them. But you can see that they've already received 3 emails from us. And these can be set up specifically to how you want to do it. So we'll go back to our dashboard. I'm going to take a look at 2 more quick dashboard views. So let's look at the board metrics. So if you're the CEO, information that you're probably very interested in are key performance indicators for income, cash flow, receivables, payables, and sales. Being able to see this in one dashboard is extremely helpful. You can design dashboards for covenant information, financials, as well as look at KPI meters to graphically see how things are going. So I'm going to switch over to the CFO. And just to take a closer look at some of the statements and some of the reporting flexibility, I'm going to drill into the income statement. So here's our standard income statement. This income statement was completely out of the box. I can quickly, as you saw before, we can email it. If I wanted to see a summarized income statement, it's as easy as collapsing my drill down, and then I can expand it to the levels that I want to see. I also can change this one income statement from a total income statement across the entire company to looking at it by class. So I just change my column to class and click refresh. And now I can see our sales by class across. So you can see that this could be by product line, it could be department, it could be by market channel. There's a number of ways that we can do this. This is dimensional accounting at its best. I could look at sales by location and click refresh. If I wanted to see a different date range, I can do that as well, quickly and easily. The other piece that I can do is I can graph this information. So if I click graph, I quickly have a graph of our sales. We can export to Excel, to PDF, and as you saw before, we can email and print. So what I wanted to do is kind of review what we've shown. We started off by just briefly addressing security and the audit trails. We hoped that we demonstrated the value of that single source, real-time, fully integrated application as we followed through the inbound lead from our website. We converted it to a sale. We even had a personal email sent off from our CEO. We highlighted the efficiency of role structures by exploring a couple of the roles that you saw with the role-specific dashboards, as well as the reminders, stepping them through the process. Through the process, the inherent workflow of NetSuite guided the process, and hopefully you saw the intuitive interface that helps validate how quick user adoption is. And lastly, we explored just the reports and how flexible they are and easy they are to distribute out to the staff. So with that, I'm going to pass the baton back to Annette, if I can, and make her the presenter.
Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it. I hope everyone enjoyed that demonstration of NetSuite. I thought it was very informative. I appreciate it. So we are about to conclude our time together, and I wanted to let everyone know that we can help you determine a fit. So there are multiple considerations when determining how much the cloud is right for your business. We can help you assess what that looks like, which cloud option is best for you, and help you make those choices as well. And there's my information. As we said, this is being recorded, and everyone will get a copy of the presentation as well. Philana, are there any questions that we had come in?
Yeah, there actually are, and as I answer this first question, please use the question box on the webinar. If you have any questions, we have plenty of time to answer those for you. But the first question that we have is it difficult to go from current install to hosted? And what is the time frame for that?
Okay, great question. So I think what the question is, currently if you have your Sage product installed on a server in your office and you wanted to go to hosting, what does that look like? And there is a process that's set up with Trapp Technologies to take that from your server over into their environment. And believe that they do a trial of that first to make sure that everything works and everyone can log in and do all that. Make sure the printing is set up in paperless office. Everything is set up on the hosting, and then we do a final conversion of that. And I believe that the time frame, because you're doing a test and doing all that, the time frame on that could be maybe 3 to 4 weeks. So just depending on what you're bringing over and that type of thing. But we can help you with that process as well as with Trapp.
Okay. Another question just came in. What are the real differences between Sage 100 and NetSuite?
Both products are ERPs, so they both do accounting, inventory, sales order, and all of that, so that the basic things are there. One of the as I said earlier, one of the things that I like about NetSuite is that when you're on the reports, you can drill down into that detail. That's one of the options. And also, to me, the dashboarding on NetSuite and the built-in workflows. So Sage has workflows. It's an add-on. We have a lot of customers that have that, and it works great, but they're built into NetSuite. So there's just a few of those feature things that are different. And then, of course, NetSuite is a true SaaS product. So that's a bit different in the way that you pay for it and the way that you access it, because it's truly browser-based and not remote desktop-based.
Okay. I think we have time for one more question. And if anybody else has any, we can wait a few seconds here. If you have any questions, you can always reply to the message that goes out with the webinar recording, and we can get back to you on those questions.
Okay, great, Philana. Appreciate it. And again, thank everyone for attending. We appreciate it. And if you need additional information, let us know. Or as Philana said, you can reply to the email that will go out with the recording. So we appreciate it and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.